So I think that the river, when it's in full flow, comes along here and it's gone boom right up there. And it's hit that. Bang, it's dropped some of that. This must have been lodged inside or come flowing down. So the power has been pretty epic. I'm very, very pleasantly surprised how good the ground is. That is really good. You know, when you ask yourself the question, was it a good idea? Well, there's some gold here. I've been in the nooks and crannies over there. They're really nice and visible pieces of gold. You'll like this. Hear the birds singing. I've seen deers all around. This is like a little garden of Eden, and I'll tell you what, I'm loving it. And I'm walking on this really old gravelly track which will lead me to the burn I want to prospect today. It's fantastic. A fellow prospector called Steve, and yeah, we did find a few stacks of gold. Hello people and welcome back, and yes, this is the final video of the 2024 season. I'll tell you what, I've really enjoyed making the videos and sharing my experiences with you. Let's get straight back into this one. We're back up in Scotland again, in search of the good stuff. Okay, right, I've come back to this stretch of the burn where there's obviously been at some point very recently a big flood event, and I'm going to work some of the gravels that are just on the sides here. And it's quite late in the evening, it's about 6:15. We've got loads of daylight though, but I'm going to have roughly an hour's session before tea time, and then we'll see what we can get. Just out of these gravels here, so I'm going to rake it all back, put it in the bucket. The sluice is set up over there ready to go. Let's just see what we can find. Having a nice little evening session. So the power has been pretty enormous at some point. So because it's all new, deposited gravels just washed up there, I'm going to gently rake it back, probably get about 2 or 3 buckets out of that. All them gravels there, loads of river gravels, bits of clay. I'm not interested in the clay today. Don't want that at all. But that's where the gold will be in there. Now them gravels, they do look good to me as well. That could be a little barrier to keep the gold from going any further. So it's just the process of washing all these gravels. And as you can see there, quite a dirty affair. But that's all part of the fun. But it's also a process where you've got to keep repeating the actions, getting the shovel, and working that pay layer.
before it's time to sluice a full bucket of gravels.
I'm not messing about here, just getting all these gravels out that bucket and dumped into the sluice. It can earn its money today.
And looking around, the waters in the area are absolutely crystal clear, even though I am absolutely caked in mud there. And the sluice was running an absolute treat. We've got a classic example here of laminar flow where the water was just running perfectly right across the sluice run. It's also useful to have a good set of knee pads, as you're always kneeling down on the hard uneven bedrock. And looking at the sluice runs here, every riffle was nicely compacted, working away as it was classifying all the gravels. You can tell it's level just there by how even everything is distributed throughout the run. And you can see the process known as exchange clearly taking place. This is where the heavier elements find their way right into the bottom corner of each riffle.
And looking on the top mats, it's not looking too bad. Specks all across here. There's a nice little visible speck, quite a few in the middle. Yeah, always loads of this very heavy red hematite or ironstone, very visible there, always a good sign, especially here. You can see that when you're sniping. If you see that when you're sniping, you see the lead, you know the goal's not too far away. That looks like a lead shot there in white.
And after every session at the river, it's always good practice to put all of your overburden and all your rocks back, fill any holes in, and leave it the way you found it. Even if the river will change everything after a big flood, just make the area that you've worked good again.
Right, I've made good the area. I've put all the overburden back, so now I can do a clean up and I can move on from this little project, if you like, to see what gold was in this side now, where the river must come down there. I would use the word capurtling. Capurtling means it's moving really quick and then hits this lot and then just demolishes whatever's in its path, and then ultimately it just deposits everything all along here. That might be a nice little gravel bar to test there. You see a gravel bar around the corner, that's another good one.
Erosion will also play a big part along this section, because any of the large boulders that are trapped within the till layer, they'll be exposed from big flood events. So this was basically an evening session, but there's still loads of daylight up here. After all, it was the middle of June, and you've sometimes got to remind yourself that at some point you have to stop and get back to the camp and have some tea. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening at this point, so I thought it was time to do the clean up and see what gold we'd found on this little run. And it's always good to use a big bucket there, because this sluice can process quite a lot of material. It can be difficult to get all the concentrates into a small pan. And so when I finish the clean up, I'll decant the bucket contents finally into the gold pan and hopefully find some gold.